Hello everyone, I'm Matt Mittrich, the Alternate Historian. Patreon sponsored a video today from Mark Hopkins, who wanted me to analyze a map of Mu.
What is Mu, you ask? Well, Mu is a lost continent much like Atlantis, except it is located in the Pacific Ocean rather than the Atlantic. It was first proposed in the 19th century as a location of an ancient civilization that was destroyed and sunk beneath the waves. Allegedly, refugees from this cataclysm settled in Egypt and Mesoamerica, which supposedly explains why civilizations of both the Old and New World have certain similarities, like pyramids and sun imagery.
Because, obviously, only an unknown advanced civilization that existed on a continent in the middle Pacific Ocean could possibly teach anyone how to pile rocks on top of each other, or point out that the sun was important.
As you can probably guess, most scientists and historians dismiss Mu as a myth. The fact is, continental changes happen over a very long period of time, and continents don't just disappear overnight. Also, Occam's razor shows us there are simpler ways to explain similarities between civilizations that otherwise had no contact with each other. Nevertheless, the idea of Mu remains popular in speculative fiction, and writers like H.P. Lovecraft have referenced the continent in their writings.
But what if Mu actually existed? What would it really look like?
This is a geographic map of Mu created by Rubberduck3y6 in 2009. It was created for a timeline on alternathistory.com known as Empire of Mu Reconsidered by D. Valdrin. Although I haven't read Empire of Mu, I have read another D. Valdrin timeline called Green Antarctica that Rubberduck3y6 created this map for as well. That timeline involves a world where Antarctica is habitable and hosts a civilization inspired by the works of Edgar Allan Poe and the aforementioned Lovecraft. Said civilization is so brutal that even the Draca would tell them to tone it down a bit. Of course, I'm here to talk about Mu, not Green Antarctica. As far as I can tell, Mu focuses on a world where the Polynesians had an entire continent to explore and settle. Although D. Valdrin does hand-wave away some issues, like the massive water displacement caused by there being another continent on Earth, he does appear, from my brief reading of the timeline, to stay as realistic as possible when creating the environment of Mu. So it is an alien space bats kind of timeline, but one of the smarter ones. The foundation for both D. Valdrin's timeline and Rubberduck3y6 map is the continent of Zealandia, a real sunken continent located where New Zealand and New Caledonia sit today. Before I continue, yes, I know Cody of the Alternate History Hub has released a recent video on Zealandia. In all honesty, Mark asked me to do this video for him around the same time Cody posted his video. I've made a point of not watching Cody's video, so I won't be influenced by it in my analysis of Rubberduck3y6 map, so any similarities between this video and Cody's is completely coincidental. Anywho, in our timeline, Zealandia was submerged over 60 to 85 million years ago and is half the size of Australia. It should also be noted that in 2017, geologists from New Zealand, New Caledonia, and Australia declared that Zealandia fits all the requirements of being a continent, even though it's mostly covered by water. So you can see why it makes a good reference point for a map of Mu. Using it means this map of Mu isn't just arbitrary lines drawn across the ocean like the one I showed you before, but a geographically accurate map of a real lost continent. It makes use of real geological information, and as Rubberduck3y6 said when I reached out to him for permission to use his map, makes it a lot easier to visualize what the continent would look like if it still stood above the waves.
Which highlights a very important piece of advice when creating alternate histories. Always do your research. It makes what you create so much better.
Granted, people who like political maps may not find this map of Mu very interesting to look at, but our favorite genre is swamped with political maps, and it's important to take a moment and applaud those who give us something different. Plus, there are some neat details in this map, like how the Central Mountain Range corresponds to the borders of New Zealand. I'll share a link below so you can see a larger version of this map, and I highly recommend you check it out. Yes, it's not the most plausible piece of alternate history, but it's an excellent work of alternate cartography, and I'm happy that Mark Hopkins asked me to analyze it.
Well, that is all I have to say on the subject. If you like what I do, please comment, subscribe, share this video, support me on Patreon. I'm Matt Mittrich, the Alternate Historian. Bye.